Do you have trouble remembering what you want to say in your YouTube videos or any other presentations that you're preparing? If you have that headache, I have such an easy tool that can help you remember what you want to say and be more natural in your delivery. And this is mind maps. This is what I use to script my YouTube videos, my presentations, things I do with my clients, even project management. We can all use this same idea, and it's kind of like brainstorming but with more structure. So if you haven't seen it before, mind map is basically something that looks like this, that visually show you what your thoughts are. We map it out, and then we see the relationships between the different ideas. So we have little branches going out here and there. Now, the way to use it with YouTube videos is actually in combination with what I've shared in a previous video about how to articulate your thoughts clearly. Now, I will show you, if you haven't seen that video, I'll put the link up here somewhere. But the main idea is that you ask yourself 4 questions. The first question is, what do I want people to do? So this is the goal of whatever it is that you're sharing in your video, in your presentation. And the second thing is, what do I want people to know about the topic? Okay. And the third thing is, what do I want people to know about me? And that's building credibility about me. And the fourth thing is, how do I want people to feel? So that's number 4. And once you know the answers to these 4 questions, you'll know exactly what you want to say. So that's step 1 of scripting your video. So I'll take my last video as an example. I was talking about how to craft the perfect sales pitch. So the to-do for that video, what I want my audience to do after seeing that video is 1, share it. And 2, I want them to try it. Try formula. Okay, so that's my goal for the video. Now, in order for them to do that, there are a few things they need to know. And mainly it's 1, about the topic of sales pitch. That's the topic. 1, I want them to know that you have to be informed. And 2, you have to be intentional. So those 2 are the main points that I want to get across to my audience when I'm talking about the perfect sales pitch. Then I want to build a little bit of credibility and trust with my audience. So for them, the thing that I want them to know about me is that I actually do this with my own clients. So I want them to know, and there's only 1, so I want them to know that I have clients who pay me to do this stuff. And the last thing of wanting people to feel something, I want them to, 1, feel surprised. Because it's only emotions that make us really remember something. And I want them to have an emotional response to what I'm saying, so I want them to be surprised. And also I want them to feel like they learned something new. Okay, so that's the first stage of scripting the idea, is articulating your thoughts first. So you have the to-do, to know about the topic, to know about me, and then to feel. With that in mind, now we can move on to the mind map. Let me just move this across. Now you'd want to refer to what you've just written over here. Okay, so now let's do the mind map. Now the three things we want to do here is 1, the subject, 2, the points that you want to make, the general points, and then 3, the examples. Okay, so with those 3 things in mind, we want to start first with the subject, which for me was the sales pitch. Okay, so with that subject out of the way, the points I already have here, right, in the to know section. I want to make 2 points. 1, that they need to be informed, and 2, they need to be intentional about the whole thing. So I'll say informed and intentional. Okay. So now, before we move on to examples, we want to see if we want to break this point down further into subpoints. For informed, I actually want to make 2 points within this. So 1, I want to say that you have to be informed about the other person, of what they want and what they're thinking when you are doing your sales pitch. What benefits do they want out of this conversation? The other thing is you have to know about your own self and your strengths. Okay, so those are the points I want to make in here. And for intentional, I don't think I want to break it down. Okay, so these are the points I want to make. Now the examples to demonstrate each, right? The more examples you have, the more persuasive you're going to be, because abstract concepts are very difficult to memorize. So the examples I'm going to give, and I'm going to try to be as visual as possible. I think I will use TV series clips of sales pitches in TV series. Now, on the topic about knowing the other, there is one that I really like from the show Startup on Amazon, and Adam Brody, where he's pitching, I think it's a rack net. So that's the example I'm going to give. This is the example. The other example I'm going to give here is, there's a good one from Better Call Saul. And it's one about Kim doing a bid at a restaurant. Now, I put these clips in the actual video, and they're actually really interesting. So if you're interested, I'll put them up here somewhere. So these are the examples I'm going to use for this. And then for intentional, there's actually this really good game theory exercise we did in a negotiation class in law school. And that one is really great because it's actually super fun and a bit psychologically trippy. So I'm going to put that here. The example is the game theory exercise. And those are the examples. Example. Now, before you call it quits, you'll have to check with your 4 questions and see if you've got all the elements. So for example, to do, I want people to share the video. I think that they will share if I put in interesting clips of TV shows that they may or may not love, may or may not know. So that's good. With the game theory exercise, it's also super great. And I think I'll even add a call to action. Okay, so I want to add a CTA to share. With those, I don't think I need to add a CTA. If they want to share, they can share. Okay, then I want them to try the formula of the sales pitch. I think that's fine. This is the formula, they will know. Then the topics I already have put in there. To know about me, clients. Okay, so I haven't added that in yet. So I think what I'll do is, before I introduce the examples in video, I'll tell them, usually I do this, I usually do, role play with my clients so that they can actually practice. But because we can't do that via video, I'll show them the clips. So I think I will mention here somewhere that client, a role play. I'll make that point. And we'll organize that in a moment. So just want to jot it down. And then to feel surprised. Okay, this is super surprising. And if you're curious, check out that video. And that they learn something new. So I think this game theory in and of it itself has something new to share with everyone. And I think people will learn something new from these examples and how to think about a sales pitch. Okay, so I've got all of the elements here. Now it's time to order your thoughts, right? We've got all the thoughts here. We just need to structure them into a sequential element so that you can actually talk through them. So of course, let me see if I've got another colored pen, and I don't. Okay, never mind. So number one, I'll start here and I'll do some background intro on the sales pitch. What's wrong with them now? What's wrong with them now? Okay. I'll start with a sales pitch, and then I will talk about that you have to, okay, hold on. Let me think. I'll start with a sales pitch, and this is the first thing I'll share. Actually, what I did was that instead of starting here, I want to start here. I want to use this to open up the video because the exercise that we can do together, and because I'm going to get a CTA to share, so what I'll do is I'll make it into a game, and if you win, you do something, and if you lose, you share, because I know very likely you're going to lose if you try that exercise. Okay, it probably doesn't make sense because you haven't seen the video, but I think I'll start here actually. Just open up the video with a really fun game. Okay, so I'll actually start from here. This is number one. I'm going to do this, and if you win, I'll share a free 30-minute training. Okay, win, then I'll share a free training. Worth $300 on persuade the science or persuasion. Science of. Sorry, my writing is getting more messy. Okay, so here is what I'll do. And if you lose, you share. Okay, so start with the game theory exercise. Make it fun, interactive, and I'll tell you if you get the answer right, you win this. And if you get the answer wrong, you will have to share. Okay, so then once you do this, I will make the point that sales pitches are about being intentional. So I'll work backwards on this one. And then I can connect it to how are you actually going to do that is by being informed. By being informed, okay, now I want to talk about these two, so I'm going to start with this one. No, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to say that now in order to give you an example, I'm going to do a client role play. And then I will go here. The first thing to focus on is to know the other person. And I'll give you an example of that. Then I'll come to the next point, which is you also have to know about yourself. And then I'll give you the example, which is, sorry, there should be a line here. It's just came through. Okay, great. And then I just need to close it out and do my outro. Number 12 is the outro. And just like that, I have the structure of my YouTube video. Now I know exactly how it's going to flow ahead of time, right? I'll start with the game theory. I will go with, if you win, you get this. If you lose, you get that. And then once you play the game, you'll get the point. I'll reiterate the point here, which is you have to be intentional. And then I'll actually give you the formula of how to do that, which is mostly about being informed. I'll do my little credibility drop of, I do this with clients, but I'm going to show you some clips. Then we talk about the actual points, give them an example, talk about the actual point, give them an example, and outro. Great. Now, the next thing is, with this in mind, you can then actually script out line by line, word by word if you want, or you can actually, if you are very experienced and you're good at these things, just use this skeleton to talk about your topic. Now, if you do end up scripting word by word, the good thing as you do this, you'll notice that when you see the word by word, you know that you don't have to copy it because you already have this structure. So you know exactly how you can get from this to this, right? You don't need to memorize, okay, game theory exercise, I'm going to explain this way, and then write down, if you win, you do whatever. It will come naturally to you. So this is really a simple way of putting your thoughts on paper and then putting them in the right order so that you don't have to memorize anything, and all you need to do is look at your mind map in order to be able to present to a camera or to an actual audience. Now this may look a little bit messy to some people. Maybe you are more comfortable using digital tools, and I'll share with you in the next video what kind of softwares are out there and which ones I really recommend, and I use mainly 2 types. So I'll share with you in the next video if you're interested. Now, for the meantime, if you found this useful, please give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps this video get to more people, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!